Okay, folks, good morning and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and I'm sorry that we are getting started a little bit late here. We were live last night all over YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and now this morning, after that, we were live in a private members group session. So moving forward, we're going to be sending out special invitations to private group sessions. Usually, I'm going to have them for members in general, but from time to time, I'm going to invite people that are interested in opting into our email form. You can find the link below, and we will certainly appreciate you joining into those live streams where we'll answer questions. We'll engage. Good morning. Thanks for that like. We'll engage with members and non-members alike who are invited in, and we'll have a good time, just as we did. Hey, RL, good morning. Yeah, TGIF. Yep, I agree. I'm fried, man. So let's just jump right into it. I don't have much in terms of news items this morning, but what we do have are certainly some activity, or is some activity in the futures market, and it's going to be an exciting day, no doubt about it. And then we're going to go over a couple of chart requests submitted by members that I forgot to go over last night. FAZ, one of them, and the other one is Nokia. So we'll go over those, and let's get to... As a matter of fact, let me bring my comment section up here. Get this over. There we go. Okay, now I can see comments as they come in. Okay. Let's kick things off with the dollar, as I normally like to do. RL, where are you from again? I probably asked you this before, and I apologize. Whoa. All right, so the dollar is having some issues here. No great shock. Okay, PayPal? Yep. No great shock that we are a bit light here. What's scary is this is a 4-hour chart. These are all before our charts, unless I say otherwise. And it is 5:11 in the AM. And this bar just opened up, and we've already taken out the prior bar. So we have almost a bullish engulfing. Oh, okay. I have family in Tampa. I'm usually down there a couple times a year, a few times a year. I'm actually looking for a property down there. The 4-hour candle bar here is concerning, to say the least, so watch the dollar. And with that, we get taken into gold, which is up this morning. A little over a quarter percentage point. We are up and into resistance. We have some covered calls on absolutely very nice area of Florida. Love it. How's the weather down there? We are rallying up into resistance right now at current. Let's see if we get a breakout today. We are comfortably above the 1500 mark. And that's critical that we close out the week above that level. We spoke about gold on a weekly basis last night on Thursday Night Charts Alive. I'll link to it at the end of this video, so if you want to check that out. Let's go over to silver, which is really on a tear this morning. I took a look at that earlier. RL, can you see the charts? I'm getting a please stand by from YouTube. I can't see the charts on my preview screen here. Here's silver. It was up higher. It's pulled back some. But we are comfortably above a breakout. This is a 15-minute chart. So you can see we're pumping higher here on a 15-minute basis. We did break out. Here we go. This is better. My chart was skewed. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So we're a bit overbought here. 4-hour basis on silver. Up and into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. I just hope I don't get called out of my covered call position. But it'd be what it be. I want to make sure. I want to test the charts, make sure that they were accurate. Yeah, they're accurate. Okay, now we're looking good. Dollar is weakening up here further. Let's go back to gold. I just want to make sure that chart was accurate. I think Thinkorswim had a little bit of a problem there. Yeah, so it did. So we are clearly strong this morning. I think that we're moving higher, especially in light of a weaker U.S. dollar. And let's check out the 10-year bond. My guess is that it's moving higher. Actually not. It's a couple of bips down this morning. Yeah, we're still getting positive price action out of gold, and that's a good thing. If the bond market begins to break out, you're going to see a fuse lit under gold, especially if the dollar continues lower as well. The Russell 2000 down, essentially flat on the morning. It looks as though they're still going to try to pump the Russell up today. Let's go to the... We'll finish off the stock market futures, then we'll go into some other commodities. We have the S&P futures up slightly, but for all intents and purposes, flat on the session. And the number to watch here on a weekly basis is a close above the 3,000 mark on the S&P 500. Now, taking a look at the NASDAQ, it's up comfortably this morning. So what we're watching for here is a rally up and through 79.81. Actually, 79.83. 79.83. That will be a point at which traders, if we close above that level, not even necessarily traders, the algos are going to have to start thinking about buying and covering shorts. So watch that level. Nat gas was up stronger. Yeah, it's surprising that the NASDAQ is holding its own. Whether or not it's being manipulated, I don't know. Whether it's being offset by Intel, I'm not quite sure. One would think that Amazon, with its market capitalization, would certainly be a weight on the market, but Intel's no lightweight itself. So maybe there's a balancing act there. I'm not sure what type of weighting each has on the NASDAQ 100. But they're certainly both in that index. The price of natural gas off the session highs, but we did break out yesterday on nat gas. What else do we have here? We were looking at commodity futures last night in terms of food prices, corn, and I want to take a moment and talk about this because what I'm worried about is inflationary pressures. And this chart here on a weekly basis is rather benign. We've had a rally off of support. It's holding. Now the question is, do we break out above resistance in the coming weeks? And do we take out this high here? So right now, really no grave threat. Let's go to a daily chart. In fact, on a daily basis, we gave up some gains here, and we are down below a daily support level. So if anything, we're showing signs of weakness here. We want to see a close back above that support level. Were you long of corn or thinking about getting long of the price of corn? Let's check out soybeans. Soybeans looking okay here. A little bit of topping action. Attempting to break out on a weekly basis. So soybeans clearly showing more relative strength versus other commodities here, such as corn. I know this is boring, but I use it for, again, a measure of inflationary pressures. Let's check out oil. Good morning to all those that joined in. If you could do me a favor, if you click that like button, share with a friend. I think I'm only streaming on Facebook right now. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me with the YouTube algorithms. Let's take a look at light sweet crude. Wrong chart. Light sweet crude. There we go. All right. So this is a weekly chart. Good morning, Jay. Sure, I can do that for you. Oil looking good on a weekly basis. Let's check out a 4-hour basis. Looking really good here. Looks like we have a continuation move higher on oil. So we're seeing some inflationary pressures on the market. Soybeans, oil, nat gas. And it's being reflected in weakness on the dollar, strength in gold, silver. Let's go back to silver for a moment again. Take a look at this price action overnight. This is nothing to sneeze about. This is a very, very big move. We're up 1.61% on silver. This is a huge move here for silver. We're long of silver. We'll plan on adding more here. Perhaps not today because we're overbought here. We'll wait for a pullback, and then we will buy back in on a continuation move higher out of a orderly consolidation, perhaps a bull flag setup, ideally a bull flag setup. And let's get to some stock chart requests. We used TrendSpider this morning. All right, the first chart I want to go over is for one of our members who emailed me last night, Denny. And my opinion on Nokia is that if we close below this weekly support level here, looks like TrendSpider's having some issues this morning. Why are you spooling here? All right, let's bring up. Okay, Nokia. All right, so Nokia is a disaster area. In all probability, we'll get an oversold pop. Good morning, John. We'll get an oversold pop here next week. This is not a short because of its oversold condition. Did I say overbought? If I said overbought before, I apologize. I meant to say oversold. This is what happens when I don't have enough coffee and it's this early in the morning. And you can see that where we found a bottom this week on Nokia was where we closed back in November of 2016. So that doesn't mean we can't press lower to the extremes of 3.73 on Nokia. We probably will because weak stocks tend to get weaker. So I'm assuming that Nokia reported poor earnings, and the price is certainly reflected here. This is a chart that's so ugly. I have ongoing concern issues out of Nokia, where I just simply looking at a chart. What their balance sheet looks like, I have no idea. Yeah, so we gapped down yesterday. This is a daily chart. We gapped down. I would expect to see sideways consolidation here with a bias to the downside still. Will eventually alleviate this oversold condition relative to the third and second standard deviation Bollinger Bands. The 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band is in red, the 2 in green. And for those not familiar with those Bollinger Bands and the 3 standard deviation versus the 2, in short, we're not supposed to be here relative to the 20-period moving average, as noted in the dotted green line here. So a very unusual price action, and I wouldn't expect it to last much longer before we resolve this oversold condition. And it can be resolved either trading sideways or be a quick pop higher, and then we proceed lower. But the path of least resistance overall is that we are moving lower here on Nokia. Let's bring up the FAZ. And the FAZ is a leveraged ETF putting you short of the banks. And you can see I keep a whole list of these on my saved charts because I'm always in here checking out what's going on and what looks good. So we're going to begin from that higher level view, FAZ weekly view. And right now we have our troubles here. And it's expected that we are trading at current at the lows of the week. We have a flat market. With a bias to the upside, threatening to break out, with the banks that are showing relative strength. So at current, would I make this trade? No. But a couple of observations here is that we are trying to put in higher lows on our Stokes weekly basis. Now RSI was putting in a higher low. It's threatening to take out that lower band of support on a weekly basis. So FAZ is threatening to break down here with the banks threatening to break out. This is a bear ETF. So it trades inversely of the banks. Daily chart. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. It's all bad news. The only good news is that we have not broken down to new lower lows. We're holding support at current, and that down volume has been dropping off, which does not bode well for the banks to the long side. But you know, the path of least resistance here is clear and defined, and it is to the downside. So would I go speculating here? No. You're betting against a lot of powers that be out there trying to force this market higher, or at least keep it in place. Could we look to get long at some point in time in the future? Sure. You know, if you were speculating on this and you wanted to do it right now, I would be fine with it. But you got to use a tight stop right below 32.92. Keep that position small so you don't absorb any major losses, and then look to add on a rally up and through $34 per share. And then as we begin to clear resistance levels, then you add more on strength, because that means that the banks are breaking down below key technical support levels, and you're buying on strength because your trade is being validated, and your opinion being validated as well, that you were right in your call. So right now, very speculative. The odds are against you. That doesn't mean that you can't make money. I could be proven wrong here, no doubt about it. But we need to see a breakout above $34 per share before I admit that I'm wrong here. But I'm certainly open to the market telling me you don't know what you're doing. And it wouldn't be the first time. So FAZ, I would not be a part of right now. The market is telling us that you would be wrong. Probably, the probability. What else do we have out here? PayPal, that is for RL. I think I have PayPal already up here. I cleaned this up not too long ago, so I may have deleted it. Yep, I did. All right. They reported earnings this week, right? Okay, let's throw some lines up here. All right, so RSI, weekly basis, has broken out. We're still down below the 50 level, which I don't traditionally like to see, but it's going in the right direction. We did put in a new lower low on Stokes, but we are hooking up now above resistance. Thanks, RL. Now, in terms of price, which trumps all, we are right at resistance. Really good volume. And this is key. This is not mom and pop buying 100 shares of PayPal. These are institutional buyers picking up the shares. So, weekly chart looking very, very constructive. I would like to see a close above this upper band of resistance. That would give us a breakout. We closed out the day yesterday at 104.91 on the day. Let's go to a daily chart. And before I go to BAC, JA, can you tell me whether or not they reported earnings? I think, of course they did. How are earnings? I'm sorry, they did report earnings. How are earnings? PayPal daily chart. Beautiful volume. All right. So here's our breakout yesterday. And you could see that intraday, they even took it back down to retest the breakout point. And it held, it rallied, but then it closed off the highs of the day. So I don't see a major need to go running in and buying these shares hand over fist. I think that what we're going to do here, given the fact that you have the moving averages that are all sorts of messed up, you have the 50-day trading down below the 200-day moving average, that's a cause for not concern necessarily, but I think that it could just tell us that, it's going to take a while for backing and filling to occur here, and you have overhead supply. So these buyers, once they get made whole after the sell-off, they're going to look to take their money back. They just want to get made whole. So I don't see a need or a worry that we're going to go screaming higher today and you're going to miss your opportunity. We'll probably bounce around here for a while. You also have Stokes, which are hooking up, but still well down below the 50 level. You may get some backing and filling, and I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see on RSI to get a pullback on RSI and a retest of support. Volume was simply outstanding yesterday. So you had a mixture of shorts covering and institutional demand. How are revenues, JA, on BAC? That's what we really care about. And if they had margin compression, but really revenues. If you can answer that, that would be great. Earnings, they skew all the time. All these banks, they beat by a penny. but their revenues don't come in all that wonderful. So PayPal looking interesting. Let's drill down here, 4-hour basis. We held the gains yesterday. So I think this is going to be a market-driven play. If we begin to trade down today, I'm fairly confident that you'll get a retest yet again of the breakout point. And if you decide to play it, let's go back to the daily chart. If you decide to play it off of a retest of support, I would just use a stop loss on a close down below 102 per share, get out, because that would be a breakout point failure. And in this market environment, I wouldn't want to fight it. Revs are down, huh? 15%. That's huge. All right, let's take a look at it. Okay, I don't have it up here. I have to clean this up from time to time. Again, I have to do it. You currently have 500 charts. They limit me to 500 charts per list, and it irritates the heck out of me. All right, so the revenues were down, yet the shares are, yesterday they were down. Let's take a look at it from a higher level view, weekly basis. These shares are breaking out. Oh, I see. Okay, now it makes sense. You wouldn't know I had LASIK in June. They told me they were going to destroy my ability to see up close, and they weren't lying. But my ability to see without glasses, intermediate, like 10 feet away, 15 feet away, is great. All right, so we're breaking out here on BAC. It's looking good. Looks like we're going to have a weekly breakout. We are going to have resistance to 32.02. Where do we close? 31. You know, me, from a risk-reward perspective, I would be looking to buy these shares on a continuation breakout and a close above 32.02. That puts it at, I believe, multi-year highs going back to 2007. You know, taking a look at a quarterly view here. Granted, it's only the first month of Q4, but this is a very, very bullish chart. We are clearing resistance, and if we close above it, that really sets these shares up for a big move higher moving forward, and will probably challenge the all-time highs back here. So BAC has come a long way, thanks to the taxpayer, since 2009. And I believe that is it for this morning, folks. Thanks for joining in. And I appreciate you hitting that like button. It helps me out a lot. And I will talk to everyone over the weekend. Members will be doing the week ahead commentary, and we'll formulate a strategy for the coming week. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I will talk to you soon. Be well.